Well, I went today. I made a decision. See, I bought a freezer, big giant freezer, I don't know, 4 months ago, and I haven't even plugged it in until today because I just didn't have anything to put in it. The plan was to go buy half a cow or a full cow. I just can't find anywhere around here to do that. So I went to Aldi today and I spent about, I don't know, $400 on just meat. Ground beef, steaks, pork, ribs, stocked up on some butter. And I'm probably going to go back maybe tomorrow and do it again. And I started filling that freezer. And I don't want to make another video about this EBT crisis, but I do want to make some comments about this and give you my true opinion of what I think of it. Now, I have said in the past, there are so many people that do need it. There are disabled people that they do need the assistance of EBT. But then there are some that are clearly, that is the way they make their living. They're scammers, okay? There's been so many videos in the last week about this. Everybody should be well educated on it now. But today I got to thinking about it, and some of these people get an unbelievable amount of money on these cards, but they're screaming and complaining now that they're going to be cut off and go hungry. That's their own fault. Okay, you can take a little bit of your EBT balance every month and buy a 5-pound bag of beans. Okay, there are so many things you can buy just to put on a shelf for such an occasion. But it's usually people like that don't even think of that. They think the government will always be there. They will always have money on their EBT card, and they do not plan for the future. Those are the very same people that, if something catastrophic happened, would be kicking your door in and taking your stuff, and they wouldn't care how they had to do what they had to do to get it. And it just makes me so mad. I'm a carnivore. I only eat meat and eggs. But I'm gonna sneeze. But in my house, I have a lot of beans stocked up. Dried beans. I have cases of MREs, which are freeze-dried. It's military food. I also have some 5-gallon buckets of emergency food. I got enough for 3 months worth of meals every day. And that, now I'm not necessarily going to eat that, but it's in an event where I have to depend on my stock. I don't care about carnivore. Obviously, I'm not going to get meat. And if I have a lot of meat in the freezer, I'm going to have to find a way to keep that cold and eat that up first. But I do have dried things, things put back for an emergency. Maybe 90 days. To me, that's good. If anything goes on past that, well, we're in big trouble. So it just got me mad that these people don't have the brains, or I think they just don't care to stock, especially if they have kids, to stock their shelves. Pick one shelf and buy. Beans are cheap, man. A 5-pound bag of beans, or the 10 bean soup, 15 bean soup. Okay, you can get a whole bunch of bags of them for like $2. You can get 2 or 3 meals out of one of them. Just one bag of the 15 bag soup, which is not even a pound, that'll feed like a family of 5 or 6 for one day. They just don't do that. Bags of rice, cheap. Okay, you can get a big 50-pound bag of rice, get you a 50-pound bag of beans, put it in a corner somewhere, but they don't do that. These are the same people that will drive around the parking lot of the grocery store 15 times until they can get the very first spot, because they're too lazy to walk. It wouldn't take much off their balance every month to put $20 worth of those dried foods, and they could still use those beans. Okay, just buy the same beans that you every month, but have a stock of them. and, rotate them. Those kind of people don't plan, they don't plan that way. And there's a lot of them around where I live. They just are last minute Larrys, figure it out later flows. And there are those people that have told me, oh, I know who's got a lot of food. I'll just go there and they'll feed me. I'm not going to do that. Especially if I know somebody's been getting a steady source of income for food every month. I'm not feeding anybody like that. Everybody, regardless of your income, whether you're on EBTs or you're wealthy, you need to stock food. And there's other things you need to stock. Some, a fuel source, a heat source, a lot of things. I've made videos on these, but there's just so many people in this country that just don't do it. And you can tell them until you're red in the face. And what are my chickens doing? I don't know. I get distracted over here. Bad spot for this thing. But anyway, just try to put a few things back, and you don't need a lot. Maybe 10 days worth of food. If these people would have their pantry stocked, they wouldn't be so worried about this. Yes, they're probably going to fix this before it starts. I kind of hope they don't. And if you Google how many EBT recipients are obese, it will come back and say 40%. I would be willing to say that the 40% that are obese are the ones that are abusing the system. Because I've seen a lot of them in my town that are on EBT and they're not obese. They are truly in need. But you have that element of that they're not truly in need. They're abusing the system. I mean, you've seen all these videos on YouTube where they're getting on there and bragging about it. And they're angry. They're angry because they may not get their cards filled this month. Well, that's about all I got. I just wanted to say that. The EBT subject. I don't want to do any more videos about it. There's too many on there. Ooh, I do want to add. I had a sleep study done on Tuesday. I had to go stay in the hospital. I made a video on that already. But one thing that happened during this sleep study, I didn't even think I was going to be able to fall asleep, but I ended up sleeping longer than I probably have in months. And I had that reoccurring dream in the sleep study where I see these spaceships up there fighting each other, thousands of them. And I had an unbelievable amount of dream time, is what the report said. It was a lot. And it was just funny that I had that dream, and I hadn't had that dream in years, and it came back during that sleep study. So I don't know if the things they put on my head did anything to trigger that, or have no idea. But I didn't mention that in the one video. I was going to save it for a different video, but I ain't making it. So I appreciate you guys watching. This is the second to the last day of Dogtober. If you haven't watched the last few videos, man, go back and watch. It's for the dogs. I'm giving 100% of my ad revenue on this channel to the animal rescue. So I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate you watching the entire month. But, it doesn't have to be Dogtober. You can keep watching. Happy trails.